will self-destruct in 20 seconds. This is your last chance to push the cancellation button.
Cancellation button? Hurry!
Where is it? Where is it?
It's gonna be here. Out of order!
Fuck! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding.
There's the other end! Faster!
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Don't touch that dial. It's Leo Valdez
Give him the skibbity paps.
and Hunter Horn
We're gonna need a wood motel.
with your pregame warm-up.
Yo, DJ, drop that beat.
Pick of the week, they be deadlocked. Most of these shows is dead wrong. PGW for the W. 100 count bands on his bed top. On our podcast, getting topped off. Swinging this stick like it's top golf. I'ma bust in the face. Then I'ma read you a verse. For Philippians verse. Put the cash in your purse.
What's going on, guys? Nikita, Leo.
Hey,
What's
Cole,
going on,
what's up,
Cole?
bro?
Hey, there's
Cole.
I just
There
had
we
to
go.
grab dinner, so we're all good now.
Hey,
All right.
man. You gotta,
That's cool. We
Gotta,
eat, we move. That's the way it is.
gotta eat, man. You know, gotta eat good.
Welcome,
Well-
guys, to another edition of the pregame warmup.
If I may say, listen,
guys.
we did our show this past Monday, and Hunter and I were holding as much as we could on our own, but we really missed you, Nikita. Thank you so
I know
much
you
for
guys.
what
I
you
knew
do
I
here.
can leave you guys. I knew I can leave you guys, and you guys would be good without me because the
But
show
it's
is
just-
amazing.
It's not the
We're
same
okay.
without you, Nikita.
We're okay. But no, we're not. Definitely not good. No.
Well, I'm back. I can say why I was gone in my nook portion.
Oh
right.
yes, that was heavily missed. Heavily.
I will definitely bring that up. But I'm happy
So-
to see you guys.
So, guys, man, what's on the docket today, Nikita? Let's get rolling, girl.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's kick
Leo,
it
are
off.
you ready?
Something like that.
Oh gosh, Cole,
Yep, I'm ready.
your time to shine.
Cold, ready to go.
We're going into NCAA. Let's talk about the Final Four because we have to really talk about that. You see? Let's
was-
get started
it was
with a
wild.
quick one.
It was wild from the start. Let me tell you, San Diego State, they came out and they started getting bullied at first, right? They were down for most of the game, you know. They ended up being down at the end of the game too, but that's okay. But they really, all of a sudden, man, they pulled it back within 5. I all of a sudden, be honest with you guys, I started to think like, holy shit, man, here's the next Disney movie on the way because their coach is in a wheelchair too. So like, my God, Disney was licking their chops, trust me. But it didn't happen. UConn was just too good. What do you think, Leo and Cole?
I'll let Cole go first.
Okay. Well, so I definitely agree with some of what you've been saying and the fact that UConn, for the most part, was really dominant in their showing for the national championship. As you can even just see on the screen, that they won by 17 points. San Diego State actually did at least have kind of a good start to the game. I know you said that UConn was pretty much pulling away from the start, which is true, but San Diego State did have an early lead when it was back to when it was like 10-6. But there were multiple 4 or 5 plus minute stretches where UConn held San Diego State without a single field goal. So like as I was watching the game, that was just pretty interesting to watch or see that for stretches going up to like half the game, San Diego State literally didn't even have a single shot go down from the field.
Yeah, I'm going to have to kind of say that I agree with Cole there. The game only got really close in the first period or the first half when they were playing, and it was like maybe 19-16. That's about as close as the game actually got for San Diego State. And then there was at one point where they were actually pulling up and they were down by only 8, and that's when UConn just pulled away. This is actually a case where there's two amazing coaches, but this is where in the NCAA you can tell like these guys are NBA ready. These guys are they're just ready. And that's just the way it is right now.
I agree. This team is ready to go. You know when I knew, especially the Canes were in trouble, when I saw that 7'2" Scandinavian troll, okay, where he's standing on the friggin' foul line, right, the free throw line, and his hands reach the basket. I was like, oh my god, how do you score on this? What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, and there were times when San Diego State, when they were trying to make their run, they would put that young man and Sonogo on the same court. Forget it. That was like putting Shaq and Zoe on the court. That when the Heat won their first NBA championship. You put two big men that are dominant like that, they just forget it. It's just going to be something crazy to watch. That's just the way that was. That's the way that worked out.
What was bigger for you guys though? Like UConn winning or San Diego State losing?
What? And wait. Propose that again.
What was bigger for you?
What was more impactful? Gosh.
Yes.
Well, San Diego State losing isn't like a surprise because this UConn team is as good as it was. One of my buddies, Brian, said it best. That game between UConn and Miami, that was the real national championship. Because the Canes, I believe, would have gone on to smoke, it would have been a better game, I think. But I ultimately think the Canes would have taken. Go ahead, Cole.
San Diego State also only beat Florida Atlantic in the Final Four by 1, and then going back to the Elite Eight, they only beat Creighton by 1. So that just comes to show that the Final Four and Elite Eight opponent for San Diego State was right on par with how good and or successful each of the teams were. So, I mean, you definitely could make an argument that Miami versus UConn or anything like that would be the actual national championship game.
I would say so. Listen, FAU, great basketball. One second, I'll kick it over to you, Leo. I know you got something to say.
Leo's waiting for you to finish.
I see it in his face. I will say, FAU has a great squad. They won like 20 games in a row. Not to knock on them. And they lost because a buzzer beater. Like, that was a dagger. Otherwise, they're in the national championship, and I think they would have given UConn a better game than SDSU. But it's like Cole said, man. Gosh, if only the Canes had that easy route to the national championship. Leo, what do you got to say, Leo? What do you got to say?
Man, what do I have to say? I say any of those three teams going against UConn is getting beat. Honestly, we're trying to give these guys listen. There's something about about March Madness that adds to the madness, and that is the luck of the draw. That one day you're hot and then one day you're not, and that's the beauty of why we do what we do in college basketball, and while they're trying to replicate it in college football. But the fact of the matter is that I think the Canes going up against UConn, that's not the national championship. The national championship was them going against SDSU, and even if they had gone against FAU, it would have been just as bad of an annihilation because UConn was one of those big teams that was supposed to make it into the Final Four, into the Elite Eight. The other three teams were all underdog Cinderella teams. And honestly, I think the only reason UM catches a bad break at being a Cinderella team was because they were not an offensive team. They did not have their offense always struggled. Their defense always had to carry them. And in basketball, sorry, you got to be about both sides of the ball. That's how that rolls.
I totally agree. Like I said, I've had no problem saying UConn was the best team in that tournament. And I'll be honest with you, they had a rocky start while they were figuring out their identity in the beginning of the season. But once they figured it out, they were locked in.
They may have been locked in, but I think the reason that nobody really expected UConn to be as good as they were was because of how they lost to Marquette. And Marquette was a smaller team, but Marquette was fast. That they were just nothing but speed. So they ran circles around UConn. But I mean, like I said, one day you're hot, one day you're not. One day you're flat-footed, the next day you're light on your feet. So
Wait, so do you think if
got a
Marquette
question for
faced off
Nikita.
against UConn in the national championship, they would have won?
I'm sorry, say again?
Do you think that if Marquette faced off against UConn in the national championship game, they would have won?
I believe UConn would have won that game, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I do too. Nikita, I have a question for you though regarding this game. Who would you rather see win? An underdog?
I really want Hunter. I really wanted the U to make it to the end. I felt like that would have been.
No, I meant between San Diego State and UConn when you have that heavy favorite versus that underdog. Who would you rather have
think
seen?
San Diego, UConn is just it's always, the same dance.
That's what I'm saying, man.
It's the same dance. I'm looking for a different type of flavor. I'm still gonna go with. I thought the U was gonna give us.
I thought so too.
Give
I
us
was
that.
all in.
Well,
But yes,
all in on
like Tyrell said, I'm glad that they made it this far. I'm super excited for them, and that's an accomplishment. So I'm proud of them.
No, absolutely. I agree. I was all in on them too.
No, we're gonna go into some NHL, boys.
All right.
You
I
guys ready
think
for
this is okay. I'm gonna go take a break. Hunter, this is all yours.
This is Hunter's. This is Hunter's
Let me
segment
tell
right
you,
now.
man.
It
we
looks like
got-
the Panthers might get to the playoffs by a whisker, guys. Hunter,
Let me
this
tell
is
you,
good
they're
or bad
heating up.
for the Cats.
Hey, they're heating up at the right time.
I
They're
love
scoring
it.
goals right at the right time. I really think these Cats sneak on in. And let me tell you, okay, if we can get in at that 7th seed, because let me tell you, playing Boston would be an absolute nightmare because they are a juggernaut team. We don't stack up well against them. I like them actually like in a series with Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh could ultimately take out the Bruins in the first round, and the Bruins could fall, victim to the President Cup trophy. But let me tell you about these Cats, man. These Cats get in at the 7th seed, right? They're going to have to play the Carolina Hurricanes, who we've not lost to this season. We stack up very well against them. And I think in a 7-game series, this Panther team could definitely take out the Carolina Hurricanes, get through to the second round. And I believe it would be a dance with the Tampa Bay Lightning again, which would be great for the NHL. They always get together. They play that 90s style of hockey where after every play, you got gloves in the face and you're fighting. So let me tell you, get behind the Panthers, man. If we can sneak on in, I see them actually being quite a dangerous team. I wouldn't say Stanley Cup just yet, but I really think they could definitely bother some teams.
What about Ryan O'Reilly? He's coming back after an injury that left him out for 14 games. Do you think the Leafs now have a stance with the Bruins in the playoffs?
Listen, the Toronto Maple Leafs always look good in the regular season. Again, Nikita, let me explain it to you.
That's
Let me
so
explain
true.
it to you how
That
it
is
goes.
That is
a
very
true
true.
statement.
I'm gonna give
The
that one.
Toronto Maple Leafs have been, I think to 20 straight playoffs by now. Every season they win like 40, 50 games. Every season you know who the Toronto Maple Leafs are? They are the NHL Dallas Cowboys, because every year they're gonna win.
That's a good comparison.
I thought you were
They're
going to say
gonna-
the San Antonio Spurs because, I mean, didn't they have like a 20-plus year?
No, but I
playoff
mean like
streak?
the fan base where they're like, we're gonna win the Super Bowl every year, and they're obnoxious.
Okay.
That's the Toronto Maple Leafs. I hate Leafs fans. No offense to the Leafs. I respect your organization. Your fans are savage.
Oh my!
Every year they're gonna tell you we're gonna win the Stanley Cup. This year, let me tell you, they have a really solid team and they really prepared well for the playoffs. But it's the Maple Leafs, Nikita. Okay? The Maple Leafs, they don't find ways to win games. They find ways to lose games.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I believe the Lightning. Listen, the Maple Leafs play the Lightning in the first round, Nikita. The Lightning have bounced the Leafs the last 3 years in a row.
Yes,
They have
yes.
their number.
Yeah, I need some.
I think it goes 7 games again, just like it did last year. And I think the Lightning edge out the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think Ryan O'Reilly.
I mean,
makes
even
a
with Ryan
bigger
O'Reilly
impact.
back in?
What happened?
Even with Ryan O'Reilly back in?
I was getting there. I was saying with Ryan back in, I think the Leafs stand a better chance
Right.
But this is one player. Listen, basketball, all-star driven sport. One player can make a difference.
Well, I mean, I feel like in
Football,
hockey,
one player can make a difference. In hockey, there's about like 3 dudes that can really make a difference, and the Leafs don't have any of them. Austin Matthews was one at some point. This season, he's had a good season. He gets to the playoffs, he forgets how to play hockey.
Shit.
That's how it is. What do you think, Cole?
Well, I mean, I was gonna say it kind of reminds me of either an NHL franchise that my friend has started, or like one that you at least watch on YouTube, like where he would or they would take over for the Maple Leafs and like kind of make the playoffs like almost every year, and then just like be frustrated of like how they can't find a way to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals.
They're cursed. Let me explain to you what happened to the poor Toronto Maple Leafs, okay? Back in the 60s when they won their last cup, Nikita, right? They were celebrating with it. They were having a great old good time with it, and they dropped it.
Ooh.
They got dented, and it was the first time they had to replace it, okay? They've had to replace the Stanley Cup twice so far. Okay, the Tampa Bay Lightning dropped it their second year of winning it in the row, and the next year they lost to the Avs. They didn't get the three-peat. The curse exists. The Lightning will never win a Stanley Cup again. The Toronto Maple Leafs, you can't disrespect Lord Stanley. That's it. You're done for.
No, you can't. You can't. That
You're
cup actually comes with real implications.
Hockey superstition is real. Like, that is no joke. My buddy, right, that plays hockey. He laces his skates the same way for the last 15 years.
Oh my goodness.
He puts his pads on the same way for the last since he started skating. It's religious to him. Religious.
Like in order, everything like
in order. He has a ritual. If you interrupt him while he's in the middle of his ritual, you don't want to be around him. Pain in the dick.
I thought you were gonna say that he would start over.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
no. At least he's not that bad.
Well, I've seen guys in baseball. They only chew on one side of their mouths during game day.
Yes, man.
I've seen.
I mean, they're definitely superstitions like that.
I've seen that every sport has their superstitions, but I think hockey maybe is like one of the serious ones, especially when it comes to the implications when it comes to its postseason. I mean, every hockey player when it comes to postseason, it's. I
played hockey. I played junior hockey with a guy who, in between every period, he needed to take a shower. That was his thing. Yeah. I swear to God, Nikita.
How do you even have enough time to do that?
Don't ask me how. He was lightning. Because he would always make sure, listen. He would always make sure that his last shift, wait. Listen, he would always make sure his last shift was like, because he wasn't like a crucial member. He played about 7 minutes a period. He would make sure that his minutes were filled up before like 5 minutes before the end of the period. And this mother effer, Nikita, would already go down to the locker room, be undressed, and in the shower by the time we get in there to talk game plan and this and that. So he could back out in time for the coach meeting while he's getting dressed. That was his thing. He was like, I don't like to play sweaty. Yeah. That was his thing. I promise you, hockey players are some of the weirdest dudes out there.
I knew basketball players that would change out their like that one instance in the during the Final Four when was playing and the guy didn't have another pair of shoes to wear because he wore out the ones he was wearing.
That's right.
He was probably wearing those same shoes since like 8th grade.
What?
Yeah, like they will run in their shoes till they wear them out. They're like that. And I know guys that would change their shoes like non-stop. Just every at the end of every quarter, they would just change their shoes. Like, why are you changing your shoes?
Charles Barkley said a few days ago during the NCAA tournament, he goes, guys, if you're running late and you're on the move or whatever, you just take a shower in your clothes, And I remember his co-host looked at him and they're like, we ain't never did that. Don't be lying. And Charles is like, I did that. What do you mean?
Wow.
Shower with them on. He's like, you just wash them and hang them up to dry. I'm like, this guy, savage.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That goes more into like mental, I'm not going to say mental illness, but other behavioral. That goes into other behavioral aspects of.
Well, it's superstition because you kind of carry some form of a almost semi-religious belief where you think that what you've done is the key to your victory. Because
Your victory.
I
in
mean,
reality,
hey,
what separates
whatever works for you.
Absolutely.
right.
Real
So,
quick,
Hunter, have
shout
you,
out
have you
to
been
J
seeing the
Rod. Real quick.
comments?
Oh, sorry.
Have you been seeing the comments on the stream?
We
Oh,
have.
yeah.
We have. 1 second. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to J Rod. Not only is he playing in a championship game tonight, and we want to wish him the best of luck.
Oh, good luck.
He is the winner of the PGW Bracket Challenge. Unfortunately, it was sponsored by our former co-host, and he will not be spending the money. So, but thank you, Big Jew, and everybody else who played.
Definitely. We're gonna go
It's all
now.
right. I got you covered, J-Rod. I'll take it. I'll take
got
the hit
you.
on this one.
We're gonna go into some NBA, guys. What do you guys think?
Oh, boy.
Oh boy. It is so amazing not to have some Laker fan here telling us that the rundown LeBron and Anthony Davis are going to win another title. Oh my
I
goodness
really hope
gracious.
the Lakers don't win.
Oh my goodness
I'm
gracious. It's
sorry.
so amazing. I don't have to
Especially,
listen about Mac Jones taking the Patriots to the Super Bowl. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
The
Yeah,
best.
that's
We're gonna-
not gonna happen. Well, I mean, it might if the Patriots get a few more good players, but
No
this
chance.
season's
No
probably
chance.
not gonna
Dick Coley's telling me that they're going to be back in the Super Bowl in 2 years. Anywho,
happen. I mean, they could be.
Moving
You
on
never
to the
know,
NBA.
But I mean, do I think
Moving
it's
on to the
gonna happen? No,
NBA.
but you never know.
Evan seems to still have it in him to get that season MVP. Does his third 50-plus point game put him over Luka
Doncic, yeah.
Doncic?
Doncic, it's okay. It's okay.
It's all right. It's European. We all get it wrong.
Evan passed LeBron for the 5th all-time in career scoring average, though.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and pass this one over to Cole. Come on, Cole. Hit us up with some
Hit us with some
NBA.
basketball knowledge. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so if we're going back to that and how you said Joel Embiid was the one that. Oh, wow. It's completely on me now.
There you go.
That's crazy.
It's all on you, boy. Let's do
Okay.
this.
Yeah, no, I mean, it just really shows how efficient of a player Joel Embiid is. And, I mean, if you really, come down to the MVP race, especially if you consider, all those factors, like points per game, rebounds, assists, everything, it just really shows that Joel Embiid can be an efficient player. So, I mean, I haven't really been keeping up with all of the NBA, headlines, but if you definitely consider that, it's for sure one more thing that you could say Joel Embiid will win the MVP award for that.
That was well said, Cole.
Hey.
I agree.
You know what? I gotta agree. But you know what, guys? Let me tell you about Joel Embiid for a second, and this Luka Doncic guy. They're great. They're fabulous. What do they do postseason? What have they done postseason to put their teams in any championship games? Just saying.
Well, this season might change that.
You never know.
I don't know if Dallas is even gonna make the playoffs.
I don't think.
Well,
they will.
they're looking at making that one last
Good for
ditch
Kyrie.
effort. So, I believe that Joel Embiid, in reality, should be getting the MVP. I know that a lot of people want to give it to they want to give it to Luka Doncic. He's done well. He's carried the Mavs basically through their losing streak. He owns up to it. Through their winning streak, he's taking, he gives credit to his fellow players, and he acts like a real MVP. But I mean, in the end, stats will matter, and in reality, Embiid's stats are going to carry over, I think, into the postseason better than even if the Mavs do make it into the postseason. So you have to ask, who is the most effective player on your team? And in reality, Doncic may be the most effective player on his team, but that's really if you're stacking the team around him, it doesn't look very good. But however, when you get Joel Embiid with the Sixers in with the coaching staff and how they're kind of just letting him basically run the board, he runs everything there. He's really the captain of his team from the center position, which is a very difficult thing to do. So yeah, I'm sorry, my MVP this year actually goes to Embiid.
Really?
Yeah.
Playoffs
I mean,
started-
Luka's stats really do pile up just a little bit higher than Joel Embiid's. But the fact is that if you see the way that, Luka doesn't really manage the court. He gets the ball and he does what he has to do with it. Whereas Embiid is being the captain of his team, and that's what makes you the most valuable player when you're guiding your guys in. And
That's true.
he's making them stand out. And I mean, just beating the Celtics the way that he did after a come from behind victory, man, I gotta say, man, he's doing the job of a basketball player, not a basketball all-star. For him, he's not playing for an MVP. He's playing for his team, and that's what makes him an MVP.
Yeah, he's a good team player for sure.
Yes.
I think though, honestly, man, get ready for the Durantula show over there in Phoenix. Listen, I love the Heat. The Heat they didn't realize last year that all they needed was just like one more little like star for Jimmy, bro. And we would be back probably in the Eastern Conference Final this year. The Phoenix Suns figured it out. They went out and got Durantula. Smart people. So let's go, Phoenix. Me and Big Jew celebrating a championship this year.
See, the only problem I have with that is that I really thought that Suns would win a championship after they got Kevin Durant, but I don't really think it's actually going to happen, at least not this year. Just solely because like
Durant,
ever since they traded for Kevin Durant, their record's been right around 500, and they're like a 4 or 5 seed.
They saving their good stuff for the playoffs, Cole.
Yeah,
Durantula always. Remember what he did for Golden State, man. They had an okay year that year, and then Durantula took over. Durantula, man.
They do end up in like that 4 or 5 seed. All they need to do is hope the 8 seed beats out the 1 seed, and then they'll have the easy path to the title. So
exactly, that's it. Listen, I'm just telling you, Durantula, when he gets going, Durantula gets going.
So I don't know if I've ever heard that nickname for him.
They call him Durantula all the time, right, Leo?
That was his nickname when he played for Oklahoma, and then he went to KD because he started getting all up in his feelings. Yeah. So yeah, I think that Hunter lives in. He wants anybody in the West that's not the Lakers to win in the West.
Yeah, so, anybody.
And so he'll call the Suns out. But I am happy that the Knicks are getting in, that they've clinched their playoff berth. But in the end, I don't think they have a chance to make it. I think honestly, I think it's the East's championship to win this year. It's the Bucks, it's the Celtics. It's one of those two teams, and maybe even the Sixers might surprise us if Embiid keeps moving his guys around like that. And TK, I'm sorry, but the Kings were they made the playoffs, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to survive it.
I remember playing 2K23, and they made me go play on the Suns, bro, and then, like, dude, my players, like, averaging 30 points a night, 11 assists, 17 rebounds, and they're still like, bro, I know it's only down by 3, but you're going to sit on the bench. And I'm like, what drugs are you on? Hey, it's what it is.
Well, the playoffs will officially start a week from Friday. Are we seeing any upsets, or will this be business as usual? I hate to say it, but the dark horse most likely is going to be the Lakers.
Yeah, I really thought the Lakers wouldn't make the playoffs, but they have won a bunch of their most recent games. So I would actually have to agree with that because, I mean, you can't really ever count out the great players in really any sport. Like in the football, you can't really count out like Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers. I know 3 of the 4 players I just said are retired, but yeah.
Okay, Hunter, I'm just gonna stay quiet, and I'm gonna.
I want to hear what you have to say, Leo.
Well, my dark horse team would be my dark horse team would actually be the Knicks doing something because they are capable of getting streaky, and doing their thing, but they're also capable of gaffing it up. So it would be I think it would be fun to watch the Knicks in the final as a fan, as a Knicks fan. It would be interesting, but I live in I live with realistic expectations,
There
and
you
that is
go.
that I don't expect the Knicks to do much of anything in the postseason. I'm just glad they made it after so many years of running dry. You
Well, I
know.
mean, didn't they make it one of the more recent years too? Like a year or two ago, didn't they?
Yeah, it's when they first got Porzingis, and they flopped. They flopped
Yeah.
in the first round.
Yeah, they did no good. And
Okay.
the
Well, I
Knicks.
mean, I just hope that the Bulls can do anything, but at least they made a play-in position, so
Is this the
they
first?
would be my team that I want to see in the finals because that actually technically could happen. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Is this the first
Never
time the
know.
Knicks are in the playoffs since the Amari Stoudemire days?
Okay,
When they
hold
played
No,
the
no,
Heat?
no, 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 no.
Hold
The
on,
Porzingis
hold on.
days came after
I
Stoudemire.
need to see what year.
Are you sure the Knicks made it since then?
Yeah, I
Are
believe
you
they did.
No, they have.
Sure.
Hold on. 2020 to. Oh yeah, look at this.
Oh, the Knicks made it?
Oh, you can't.
See.
Yeah,
That's
the
okay.
2020 to 2021 season.
Okay,
like,
okay.
The Bull season when the
Yeah.
Lakers. Actually, was that when the Lakers? Well, I know that's when the Lakers won it all, but the Lakers.
Well, no, I know that, but okay. TK says that the Knicks did, so okay.
Yeah, in 2020
Yeah.
to 2021.
Yeah,
Sorry
they
for
made
any
the
bad
playoffs,
phrasing
but
then or
they
before,
were
but,
bounced out in the first round.
I'm not really sure what else to say. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Knicks probably play since the Heat bounced them.
Yeah,
Back with
Yeah,
LeBron.
That
was
was
in
right
fact
after they
2
picked
years
up
ago
Pat
that the
Riley
Knicks
as their
made the,
executive. Yeah.
No, that was when we had LeBron.
Mm-mm.
Yes,
The first
that was
time
when
you
we
guys no.
not the
Nope.
first time. When
No.
we the second
No.
time we won with LeBron.
You didn't play the Knicks. Sorry, the Knicks were no good. Sorry, the Knicks had Melo during that time. Nope.
Leo.
Okay, here we go
Leo,
again.
do I have
Leo
to
goes
show
on
you?
Google.
Do you have to show you?
Do your extended search.
All right, Leo. Let me know when you're ready
No. You go ahead. You go ahead.
Let me know when you're ready to apologize to me, sir. Are you ready?
You guys
Are
getting
you ready
jaded.
yet? Okay. Here is the number 2.
You have to read it to us, Hunter, because we're not gonna.
Yeah, no, I try to show
Not gonna
the
work.
graphic on my phone before too. It didn't work.
Okay.
Did you
Number
find-
7 seed New York Knicks versus the number 2 Miami Heat. LeBron James versus
That's
Carmelo
right.
Anthony.
With Linsanity. My bad. I lost. All right, another one on the lost column.
That's
bro.
it. We
The
dropped
L,
it. We
Leo.
dropped
Take
it.
the
It
L.
was
dropped it.
Linsanity.
You're there.
It was Linsanity. I keep.
No.
I blocked Linsanity
No.
out of my mind. It doesn't exist anymore.
No.
Hunter was super confident about that one too.
Well, because I remember watching
you're-
the game 5. I remember watching
Yeah,
at
yeah,
my
that
buddy's
was-
house. So
That was
that's
that
why
was
I was like, I
Linsanity.
know.
Yeah, I don't
like,
want to
I-
remember that year. That year is a
That was the
blur.
year we beat the Knicks. Listen, we beat the Knicks. Then we took out the Celtics in Game 7. Then we played who the f did we play in the Western in the conference final? We played somebody that we always friggin' gosh, I forget. But then we went on,
No,
and
didn't
that
you
was
play
that
the
was the year
Pacers?
that we
Didn't you
spanked
play the
Thunder.
Pacers and then you played the Celtics?
Yes, that's
for
what
the
it
Eastern-
was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. We played the Pacers, and then we played the Celtics. Then we went on to absolutely smoke the Thunder with Durantula and Westbrook. That was back when Westbrook still was
and
good.
still, you think that this Durantula has something? He can do something with
Yeah,
the
that
Suns.
was Durantula back then.
Back
Durantula
then.
now. Listen, he was just a small little Durantula then. Now he's Aragog size. He's a big Durantula.
I don't know. I just remember the days when oh my gosh, Metal World Peace had a different name.
Oh my goodness gracious, bro! I remember when he changed his name. I was like, his nickname, and they were like, no, that's his legal
That's
name.
his
I'm like,
Legal
That's
name.
right, yeah.
I'm like, I couldn't imagine the judge signing off on that. That's impressive. That's impressive. Between that one and Chad Ochocinco, that was great too.
Yeah, Chad Ochocinco is my favorite. Yeah,
Legendary.
Ron Artest.
Okay,
that's
guys, I'm
right,
back
TK.
again. Sorry,
That's
it's
all
a little dark on my end, but I can't
That's okay.
really find any light. So
Hey man, it's all
Get a
good.
flashlight.
also, TK, I'm sorry if I disappointed you earlier on my take with the Suns, but
No, that's all right.
Hey man, that's part of the show. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Wow. All right. So is it time for Nikita's Nook yet?
Right.
Is that what time it is right now?
Yeah.
I think so.
All right.
So there was a lot of people in the comments asking where the heck I was. And I was actually being a mom. My 6-year-old son decided that he had chest pain. And it's like one of those things that you have a 6-year-old, and as a parent, you're really never going to know like when your kid is lying. So it's inevitable, so you rather be like safe than sorry, just to have it in the back of your head. But this kid is like acting like he has like shortness of breath. He can't barely talk. So I'm like, oh shit, I feel like I need to rush him to the hospital. Like, I don't know if he's having a heart attack. I don't know what the hell's going on. But long story short, we get into the room to do his vitals at the hospital, and all of a sudden he has no chest pain and everything is perfectly fine with him. But at that point, I wasn't able just to like escape the hospital. So we had to go through all of the motions and do an EKG and everything. And little did we know that he's perfectly fine.
Well, that's all that really matters,
For sure.
We're glad he's doing well.
It's just like, Leo, you have kids. Do you remember this portion of your life?
I love how Hunter's like, at least he's okay. And
yeah, Hunter, I didn't know whether I was gonna.
I definitely remember this portion of my life as a kid because I'm closer to that age than I am to even. I don't know.
I could tell you, like I'm from a different generation. I'm from the generation.
Yeah,
like,
Leo would
try
have
something like
dying,
that.
Though. Yeah, Leo would have been like natural selection.
like, oh, you've got chest pains. All right, well, check it out. Here's what you're gonna do. All right, you're gonna grab your chest like this. You're gonna stick your hand like this, and you say, "I'm coming home, Elizabeth," and then we're gonna record that. You're gonna make me a lot of money.
That's not what I was expecting there. Also, I had to switch rooms because my brother and cousin are here. So.
No, that's okay. Don't worry.
That's all good, Cole. That's all good. We got PGW
don't
mobile.
Worry, Nikita, about as long as you know.
Yeah,
what,
I mean, I'm just glad that I have a somewhat portable computer, so I can make that happen.
Listen, Nikita, when it comes to being a good parent, there's no such thing. All you got to do is just like try to make sure they stay alive. So you feed them.
Yeah,
and if they say that they've got chest pains, okay, you got chest pains. All right, no problem. Here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna lay something heavy on your chest so the pain goes away.
And then the inner nurse in me,
inner
nurse in me was like, "Oh my god, if this kid dies on my watch, I'm gonna make such a guilty conscience. Fuck, DCF is gonna be knocking at my door asking me why I didn't take my kid to the hospital."
Oh no, don't worry about it. See, all you gotta do is come out here to the country where I live, and what we do is like, oh, you're not feeling well? You got the sniffles? Oh, don't worry. There's plenty of work for you to do outside. Them sniffles go away real good.
Oh yeah. They're like, you'll be so busy that you forget you have a cold.
That's exactly what happened. He like saw games in the waiting room, and all of a sudden there was not one symptom.
Oh wow!
My
so
goodness. Just make him run laps next time.
Definitely.
Just make him run laps
bringing
outside
on guests
time.
soon again, Brian. We hope maybe Monday to have some guests on. So, definitely stay tuned.
Absolutely.
Also, should I have my camera still mirrored or no? Because it feels better when it's this way, but the logo is reversed. So I don't really know.
It's all good, Cole. It's all good, Cole.
We see you, bro. That's what matters. Man. I see you, bro.
Well, I know.
You're the star. You're the star, Cole.
If it's mirrored, like it feels like better because like if I were like, let's say like wave with my left hand, it would actually be my left hand in the mirrored camera. But then if it wasn't mirrored, then it would look like it would be my right hand. So it's like I'm in a mirror, but then that just like makes me confused. But then again, if I have the mirrored camera, the logo is reversed. So now it says I can't even read the rest of it, but it's like basically the pregame warm up, but like you reverse.
Yeah. Anyways,
words.
Don't worry, bro. You look good. If we had problems with the way you look, bro, I would have just literally like shut off your camera, bro. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, man. You'd be a big C right now. You'd be a big C. You good.
Yeah, well, you know, something like this.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. There you go. No, but we
That
see
makes
you,
you
man.
feel better,
There's no
Cole.
problem. There's nothing wrong
I'm
with your
tempted
camera,
to
bro.
change
We
my
see you just
profile
fine.
picture to my sports account logo, but the only problem with that is like I don't think that would actually like change the background, which is what I would want to change more than the actual C. Because orange is one of my favorite colors, and C is the first letter of my name, so it's not like that really matters. I mean, technically blue is my favorite color if I had to pick a favorite color, but yeah, I don't know.
I love it.
I love it, bro. You're all good.
This is what we do.
This is what makes the PTW beautiful. Is the authentic. This is conversation. This is what we love here. We love just talking.
That's why the most important thing we did was actually move to a live format. You know, just for
Yeah,
stuff
that
like
I
this.
think this is the best for sure. Let's get into PGW is about to get real good now because we're getting into some NFL.
That is my expertise because
This is your time to shine, Cole.
Thank you.
So the ownership for are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready, Leo?
I've been ready.
All right. Ownership for the Arizona Cardinals, as well as other executives, are being accused of contacting General Manager Steve Keem. Keem was suspended for getting busted on a DUI charge. Right. Now, former and fired VP is claiming he was proof. This is a shakeup or a shakedown. What do you guys think about that?
I've been going first a bunch of times, so this is up to you, Leo and Cole, to decide.
I'm gonna have Leo go first on that because that's a headline that
see that
I've
bus
really
just
heard
roll
about
right
that much. So,
does anybody know the average amount of DUI charges in an NFL year? I had to look that shit up because I just couldn't believe it.
It's probably about as much as our U.S. Congress for sure. So.
Wow.
13 to 14.
That's the same amount.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder, huh?
It makes me wonder.
Listen, as far as what's going on with the Arizona Cardinals, I think it's actually a shakedown. I don't think he has any real evidence because if he did, it would have been included with the actual petition that he wrote to the NFL to try and get the Cardinals in more trouble. The fact of the matter is that ownership for the Cardinals, from what I know and from what I understand is that the owner of the Cardinals, he likes to play it fast and loose, which is why he kind of let Kyler Murray do the things that he was doing. And Cliff Kingsbury was basically running the team, and nobody ever really knew what was going on. So Steve was kind of like an in-between kind of guy. He wasn't really making executive decisions. So why they would even be contacting him was mainly probably just so that because he knew he was the only one there who probably knew the rules. So with all of that going on, it's almost as though we can actually be looking at the Cardinals being actually eliminated from the draft, very similar to how the Dolphins were.
Really?
That's probably their punishment can probably be that or worse because it's not like they fired him and then subcontracted him out like they did with the Dolphins did with Fangio. It wasn't it wasn't meeting somebody on a boat and kind of like with the technicalities where they killed the Dolphins for how many seasons on the draft? Two draft seasons, correct? They're looking at actually between 5 to 7 on draft, and they can probably start restricting free agents moving to the Cardinals without NFL approval. So what that would actually do is put the Cardinals in permanent arbitration. You may as well just kill the program. You may as well just move them to another. Or here's the thing, and they're trying to do it with the Commanders right now, and that's change ownership. If the owner resigns from his position as the chairman of the board, then they can kind of circumvent a lot of this stuff and maybe just lose 1 or 2 draft positions the next year. Well, when the whole thing comes down, we really don't know. So it all depends on whether the owner himself, who's very fast and loose, he never plays anything close to the chest. He plays with all of his chess pieces. And so if he's too exposed, then he's just going to he'll probably just let the team suffer for it.
Well, I mean, there you are. I mean, you can always also move the Cardinals back to Chicago. So
There you go.
would be
Another
against
team
that,
that'll suck
have,
in Chicago.
Yeah, exactly.
They could combine with the Bears, and maybe they'll finally win a Super Bowl.
I'd be up for that.
Right?
Yeah.
Or you know what? Move them to Canada and finally have a Canadian team.
That also.
Did you guys see that, by the way?
Like
That
also,
Toronto.
see, the thing is, if you have the Cardinals and the Bears both in Chicago, you can move the Cardinals to Soldier Field, and then the Bears can move into Arlington Heights because they already purchased the property and they can build a deluxe stadium there. And then they can also upgrade Soldier Field as to what certain plans that they were going to have if the Bears were to stay there. And then you could have two great teams in Chicago.
Surround it with bulletproof glass, and it's ready to go.
There you go.
Hey, I'm telling you guys.
I knew I was going to hear one or two things.
Really quick, let me tell you guys. By the way, really quick. Sorry, did you happen to see the that Toronto made a bid for an NFL team?
No, that's actually super cool.
That's smart.
That is.
You mean like they would be an expansion team, or
pretty much they would be the.
Well,
33rd
there's an expansion team, but they're
NHL,
also looking
NFL,
at some teams that might want to consider moving. But those teams are now starting to get better. So those teams were removed from consideration.
Yeah, the Panthers. They wanted to move the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
They don't have a solid base in Charlotte there. It's Charlotte, right? That's where they play.
I think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, because it's the North Carolina Panthers, really.
Cool.
Let me tell you, Remy, you say nobody wants to move to Canada, but when they say you move to Canada or we don't sign your checks, you move to Canada.
You move to Canada.
You move to Canada really fast. Really fast.
I just realized another thing.
Canada's not that bad.
It's not really. It's just cold.
It's freezing there, but
it's just Trudeau. But continue, Cole.
I was gonna say I just realized that the TV in my room is taken because I think my brother and cousin are playing Xbox. Gotcha. So if you heard any audio from that, I'm sorry.
No, Cole, you're
nope, we're good. All right.
So rumors sometimes can be more than just juicy gossip, especially when it comes to the Patriots. However, it has been speculated that Mac Jones was up for sale. What are your thoughts on this, guys?
Well, I mean, dude, this is like...
Go ahead, Homer. Go ahead, Homer. Do your thing.
This is like taking a bent Pokemon card and trying to trade it to somebody.
Oh,
what was Bill doing? Wow. You can't try and shop around with Mac Jones after this year. Maybe last year when he had a decent season, but shop him around after a horrible season. Oh, come on, man.
How would you shop around
from Bill just to light a fire in Mac Jones?
That's not bad. That's not a bad one. I'm sure I know where that one came from. But that's not a bad one. I'll kick that over to you, Cole or Leo. I would agree with that. Maybe light a fire in his belly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a good point because Bill Belichick has been known for certain trade maneuvers like that. Like even there were rumors all throughout Tom Brady's time in New England that another team would sign or try to trade for him. So if it could work with Tom Brady, maybe it could work with Mac Jones. Who knows?
Well, Robert Kraft actually got involved in this one and told Bill to stop doing it because the fact of the matter is that Mac Jones had a bad season because, one, he's not an elite quarterback, but number two, he had two offensive coordinators that didn't know what they were doing. So there was problems. I mean, in reality, if you're going to shop a guy around, you're basically making it sound like it's his fault that he was the way that he was, when you as the coach know it was really yours. Last year's failings of the New England Patriots are 100% on Bill Belichick. So for the past 25 years should be an indication that we have nothing to worry about. Last year was a huge indication that we have plenty to worry about, and that's that he plays favoritism with his guys. And sometimes, he would shop around. He wouldn't be the one shopping around Tom Brady. In reality, it was just because other people came wanting Tom. Nobody's walking into the locker room looking for Mac Jones. All right? They're wandering, looking for Bill Belichick and what decisions he's making. He's doing what he's doing to try and deflect the actual blame of the problems of this organization, which they are falling on him and him entirely. because last season it was all about him and his people. It had nothing to do with actually building a team that can do something. Robert Kraft is going to have to start thinking about maybe severing that relationship.
You know what? I would agree with that. And let me tell you, I would like the Patriots to stay competitively. I'm not against them because I don't want the Dolphins to turn into, bullies of the division. That's never fun. You want equal competition. I know Patriot fans loved it when they had, an easy steam ride for 8 games out of the year. But I would like the Patriots to be competitive. I would like them to have good games. And I would like them to play us well down in Miami too, finally. You know how long it's been, Nikita,
Also,
since the Patriots have
Bills
won
were
in Miami,
in that
Nikita?
division, too.
How long have you been?
It's been 7 whole years.
7 years.
It's been 4 years since they've beaten us at all.
Really?
Yeah. You can look that up. You can take that to the bank. It's either 3 or 4 years. It's since Tua started in the league.
Huh.
Oh, shit.
That is actually interesting. I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, Tua's been the Patriots' daddy, bro, since he
Oh my
started with the
God.
Dolphins.
Man.
He has terrible games sometimes. He always comes out and lights up the Patriots. I give it to him.
Well, thank God for that.
Yeah, when he can stay on his feet.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
hey,
Leo.
he's
Watch your
taking
mouth.
judo. He's taking judo
Leo,
classes.
are
He's
you
gonna
on
learn how to
that
fall.
Dolphins?
Listen. Tua, tongue of I butt hurt.
What?
Has not completed a whole season.
Excuse me?
And really, honestly, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You sing this man's praises just because
And
he's
Daniel
beating a team
Jones
that's in
finished
decline.
the whole
He's
season
right
beaten
now.
the Patriots 4 years in a row, a
Daniel
team in
Jones.
decline, but he's
When
the
we
bestest
first drafted
ever.
him, I was
So
iffy
you
about him.
think?
No,
So
we're
you
not
think
saying he's
someone
the
like
best
Daniel
ever. I'm
Jones?
just saying that he's a franchise.
What are you talking
quarterback.
about? Listen, first off,
So
hold
you
on.
think
Wait.
someone like
I knew that
Daniel
was
Jones
coming. I knew that was
is
coming.
good because he finishes the season.
Daniel
and
Jones.
Should have one playoff win. He's worth
Daniel
45
Jones
better
got
than Daniel
drafted,
Jones.
and I went, who the heck is Daniel Jones? I never wanted Daniel Jones as part of the Giants organization. I still don't sing his praises. But last year, I wasn't the one calling him Danny Dimes. Somebody named Hunter Horn was. So
Well, in fantasy football,
Yeah.
he was the 6th quarterback overall. How the F do I not notice that? Are you? Come on.
But it's what I'm telling you.
And
It's just,
what was the name of the guy who told me not to draft Saquon Barkley?
yeah, Leo Valdez, because I didn't want you to jinx my guy.
When he has 3
Haters!
Haters!
Well, reports have been registering, but what do you guys think of the Ravens trying to buy OBJ? I think
Oh.
Lamar can use him.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can start off
Will
with this
Lamar
one.
play?
I actually have heard a lot of rumors about Odell signing with certain teams, and the Ravens have been one of them. So if they can get someone like Odell, I definitely think that would be Lamar Jackson's new #1 receiver. Even though he didn't even play last year, he's still a great threat to have as a receiver, or I mean, whatever they would use him as. But regardless, I definitely think that he would be a good addition to the Ravens, especially since Lamar Jackson has Mark Andrews, but he doesn't really have that many elite receivers. And I've also even heard that Odell might sign with the Jets too. So the Ravens and the Jets are the two teams I've heard the most about, which is actually pretty funny because starting off this past season where the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, I thought that Odell was going to go to the Bills or he signed with the Rams, and now they're just maybe even the Cowboys as a team before, but now I think it's probably going to be the Ravens or the Jets if he signs with the team soon.
Yeah, I think, you know what? I think the Ravens are preparing for Lamar's departure, so they know Mike Huntley. I believe that's the backup quarterback there in Baltimore, correct, Cole? Do you know?
I think so. His first name might be different.
I believe it's
Oh,
Lamar
Tyler
Huntley.
Huntley. Well, actually,
It's something Huntley. I agree
feel
with
bad
Cole.
not knowing this.
I agree with Cole. Definitely with the whole bringing in. It's Tyler. Got you. Bringing in the whole
Is Tyler
weapons.
Huntley. Okay, that makes me feel better.
Bringing in the whole weapons. because I think they're preparing for Lamar's departure because they never really worried about bringing in stellar wide receivers, even though they would sit there and tell you that, what was his name? Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown.
Yeah.
Right, they told you he was going to be the next Tyreek Hill, and he was the biggest bust in the
Well,
fantasy
he's
since
a
Darren
bust.
Waller.
He's not a bad receiver. Just like he's not.
Bust.
He's a good receiver. He's just not
Lost
elite.
me many games, Cole.
He's a solid
Bust.
receiver 2 or receiver 3 to have on your team.
Listen, Cole. I lost a matchup by 0.5 points because he gave me 0.2. That's
that doesn't necessarily mean he's a bust because I've lost matchups like that because like Devontae Adams or someone like that got a low number.
Well, I still think the Ravens are bringing in some talent to prepare for Tyler Huntley because, to be honest with you, I think they're preparing for Lamar's departure. They never really worried about wide receivers because Lamar runs the ball or he throws to his tight end.
Also, I've heard that if they were to trade Lamar Jackson, that they would get a top pick in the draft and select a quarterback.
Exactly, that too. So, I personally think Lamar ends up on the Colts.
Ooh,
the Colts have a nice, juicy, high pick for this upcoming draft. And I'll be honest with you. I think it's going to happen on draft night. I think when it comes to the Colts and it falls on the Colts, they're going to announce that they're trading their pick to the Baltimore Ravens for Lamar Jackson.
Was it just a straight up trade or is there more to it?
Well, no, I think the Colts. I think the Colts are going to have to give up. Oh, gosh, what's that wide receiver? The second one, not the Paris Campbell. I think they'll probably have to give up like Paris Campbell or something like that. But
so I think Leo wants to talk.
Okay. Yes, Leo.
If the Ravens want to do anything and trying to get OBJ, it's to try and prove to Lamar that he can throw to more than just his tight ends and his running back. They want to give him another target to throw to because if you're running for your life and the only person that you have an opportunity to throw to is your tight end because your wide receivers really aren't there for you, and what do? You get your guy a quality wide receiver. Now, me calling OBJ a quality wide receiver is a little bit far off, but I think they're trying to tell Lamar, listen, we'll try and get people over to you. Yeah. This is not a deal until June. Like I think that the Ravens right now, we will know who's right or wrong on this part of the debate really by three weeks? 3 weeks. When the draft comes in and then they make those decisions, and then we can see. But it's at the end of the day, we want teams to we want players to stay on certain teams because of that whole, hey, that loyalty to your team kind of thing. Like Big Ben stayed on the Steelers for as long as he did, but as far as Lamar I don't think Lamar really wants to leave. I think he's looking to get that, what Hunter said, he's trying to get that guaranteed money. And they're trying to say, listen, we can talk guaranteed money, but you're also saying that you need more targets to throw to. Let's bring more targets for you.
Agree.
Yeah, like leaving some bait out.
Yeah. And in the end, it could still work the way you want, Hunter. Like you say, fine, you want to leave Lamar, no problem, because we've got a guy behind you and we've got a receiver just right in the picking for him.
And I think that's what the Ravens are doing because honestly, listen. 45 no. How much did he want? 400 something million guaranteed? That's a lot of money to guarantee a running quarterback.
Yeah, I agree.
That at a split second, he's gone. His knee's gone, and that's it.
Yeah.
I know. Let's go ask RG3. Let's go ask who is that? Who is that running quarterback the Dolphins had that really wasn't a running quarterback until
Pat White, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But he got murdered. That's bro. He's buried. He's buried underneath.
That's not what
stadium. That's man. That's a low blow.
Like very few running quarterbacks have survived in this league. Randall Cunningham, Donovan McNabb, and even they didn't have great illustrious careers because they were beat up because they were running. People don't know quarterbacks have less padding, so when they put themselves out in midfield and they get run over, it hurts them a lot more than it would a running back.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What? I don't know. I got nothing else to say. Wait,
You got nothing else to say? Is that it, man? Is it finally time that the poor viewers don't have to listen to us anymore?
What? They like listening to. Well,
Are we?
they like listening.
Well,
They like listening
if
to
we're
Cole.
closing the show,
Cole,
I
you got
just wanna
anything else you want?
Well,
I was just
other than Odell possibly signing with the Ravens or the Jets. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I'm sorry about that or anything.
No, it's okay. I was just putting you on the spot.
But if we're getting ready to close the show, though, real quick before we do, I just want to give a special shout out to my buddy T, Team Swag. Gosh, I'm drawing a blank on what website. I'll have the website up on the Instagram. You can go over and listen to his podcast. The guy he's really smart, intelligent podcast. Love listening to it, man. So go ahead, give it a follow. Go listen to it, man. Trust me, you won't regret it.
Oh, okay.
It was nice hanging out with you guys.
Oh, isn't it always?
It is.
All right,
guys.
That's
Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again on Monday.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.